There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Hello, and welcome after a long break from our inaugural episode. We are Gimme Gimme the Ball, where armchair GMs talk about everything NBA basketball related, and sometimes non-NBA basketball. I'm pretty sure maybe we'll talk about March Madness coming up. You know, that I saw a Tennessee game going on just right now. I am one of your co-hosts, Tyler. We have Adam.
Hello.
And Brandon.
Hey.
Welcome to Gimme Gimme the Ball. Guys, I don't, like I was just talking about in the pre with the music coming on, I have no agenda. So let's just freeform it. Let's just freeball it, like wherever we want to go. I will volunteer the first topic, which is De'Aaron Fox. I don't know where we're going to go from there.
Ooh, I mean, we're coming up. The trade deadline is in a week, a little over a week, I think.
Oh yeah, let's date this one. Today is January 28th, so the trade deadline is coming up quick.
There's going to be a lot of news over the next week or so, but yeah, De'Aaron Fox looking like the move to San Antonio is just up to the front office.
I mean, do we have to trade Castle for him?
Sometimes you can get away with stuff that means not giving up your budding star rookie playmaker, but
he's also a free agent next year,
right? Yes. Fox is, yes. He is. He's got one more season left on his contract, so that's what's like allowing him to kind of strong arm his way here, which is where I have confidence that we'll find a way to not have to give up Castle. But
because who else is the capital to take him? Who else is the space?
Well, who has
and
the capital, and then also who's wanting to take a gamble if he doesn't want to play there after a year? He's kind of got the Kawhi situation without saying that my knees don't work. So,
to be fair, Kawhi's knees have yet to work since then, besides one season in Toronto.
True.
Guys, second episode back, we're already booshin'.
I'm a little perplexed by the De'Aaron Fox thing. Why did Mike Brown get fired if they're just going to trade him?
Because Sacramento can't have nice things.
No,
they have some bonus.
Nice things. Because I thought the whole thing. Well, and I guess we don't know this. This is all like speculation, but I thought the whole thing was that De'Aaron Fox and Mike Brown had tension,
had beef.
And then they came out of the gate killing it after Brown got fired. And I imagine that slowed down a bit, but very interesting to me what's going on over there in Sacramento.
What was his reasoning?
And yeah, De'Aaron Fox, I think it's he'd be a good option for the Spurs. I just don't, given where they are in their process of rebuilding, I don't know that that's a right now move for them.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'm also not confident that he's even the best fit since like Wemby's not that fast. I mean, he's quick for a big man, don't get me wrong, but like we're not beating people in transition where I think Fox really shines.
Can y'all tell me
you don't
the elevator pitch?
100-mile-an-hour basketball.
Can y'all give me the elevator pitch for De'Aaron Fox? What is he good at? What is he not good at?
He is probably the fastest point guard in the league right now.
Ooh.
He has the ability to be at half court and then shooting, like laying the ball up within like half a second. He is lightning fast. He's not the biggest liability on defense because of his quickness. But his downside is he's not the best playmaker. So if you're used to watching Chris Paul, it's going to be a drastically different point guard. He's also not the best shooter, which, like, don't get me wrong, he can shoot, but when you're playing around Wemby and you really need to space the floor and you want a point guard who can get Wemby the ball, Fox is just more of a threat on his own as opposed to something that can complement Wemby in my mind.
Okay. All right, Brandon, any addition, any thoughts on the elevator pitch?
No, I think that really covers it up. I mean, I think he would be a terrific like number two or possibly three on a championship team. Uh, but I don't for the Spurs. It doesn't particularly make sense for me now. Again, especially given that he's going to become a free agent in 2026, and I guess the goal would be that you actually sign him to a longer term deal
Resign.
then, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right,
make him
right.
buy into the culture with 4 months left in the season.
Yeah, no, but it's not a bad fit. I honestly haven't put that much thought into it because I kind of thought this story kind of caught me off guard. I thought the Mike Brown thing was like a we're trying to make it work with De'Aaron Fox, and now it seems like they're pretty much. And I'm reading reports that are confirming this, but they're pretty much lining up to ship him out. So, but they also might just be seeing what offers they get and then proceeding. So who knows?
True. What were
True.
the other places besides San Antonio?
Uh, not many.
There's like
Not
three,
many that.
right?
Well,
Those are the big
kind of.
one. The Lakers are always just automatically in that
Yeah.
in that
He,
pool of trade deadline
as
teams.
as far as I'm aware, too, he doesn't have a no trade clause. I haven't seen anything about it,
I don't think
but
Oh,
so.
what?
that means that so some players like, and this will be our next topic, Bradley Beal. Some players sign contracts to places with like maybe less money or a place that they don't really want to go to with a no trade clause to make sure that they can't be moved to a team in a situation that they don't want to be in.
Hmm.
So that gives a lot of power to the player in choosing whether or not they actually move or not. But that also means that like if a player doesn't have that, there's no guarantee that a front office isn't going to do what we did to Kawhi and ship him off to the Great White North.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it sucks for him, I guess.
Also,
so
so what do we think? And this is gonna be a good kind of half transition into the next thing. But what do we think about South Beach for De'Aaron Fox?
Miami, like they get Jimmy Butler.
Play with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero and probably not Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler probably wears
Is
a
Jimmy
Kings
Butler
uniform.
part of this trade too? Does Jimmy
I
Butler go
think
to
so.
Sacramento?
I think
Does
so.
does Jimmy Butler
I think he
want to go
would.
to Sacramento? Is that the
No, of
bigger
course not.
question?
No, but that bridge was burned long ago.
yeah,
Jimmy Butler is going to wind up wherever Jimmy Butler winds up.
Dude, Heat Wentz, man.
He does win. He does.
No, Heat. I
So
said
should we
Heat.
get?
Heat's Wentz.
for like
Oh, I thought you
he
said he
wins.
wins, and I'm like, he does win.
No, he. I mean, yeah, but Heat Wentz is what I was thinking of. The iconic
Well,
Jimmy Butler with the
he
emo
wins
haircut.
also wins.
Heat Wentz wins.
But so by the way, I just want to point out that obviously this is the like number one Spurs homer podcast. If we're starting with the topic of De'Aaron Fox over Jimmy Butler,
I
but
mean,
Yeah,
we're lacking our fourth compadre today to balance out the homerism.
no,
Those of you who have
that look,
not heard all of our test podcasts, which now there is a lot, I do need to sound an alarm here. The Homer alarm. That's right, baby. We're talking about the Spurs first thing. Brandon, how about you choose the next topic?
no, we got to talk about Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy
I had to
Butler.
transition
Yeah.
up right there. Come on,
yeah.
Future Spur, Jimmy Butler.
Oh my god.
future. So this is interesting to me. Yeah, there you go. So Jimmy Butler, obviously, we don't have to get into the entirety of what went down, but just uh, has has formed over time a pretty bad rapport with Pat Riley in Miami, and is now suspended indefinitely after multiple suspensions for missing planes for a variety of reasons. And now he winds up essentially on the trading block, and Miami is really incentivized to get rid of him here. Which, first of all, I just want to say, by the way, it's such a bummer that this is how his tenure in Miami is going to end.
Yeah.
After those two inspired finals appearances, well, one really inspired one, the other one was the weird bubble madness. But
Hey, that's
um,
real. That's real, and we consider it not asterisks. Asterisks.
no, it's not. It's not an asterisk. No, it's not. It's a championship. They played in the championship, and
I'm just
then they
kidding,
won the
bro.
championship.
I don't care about the
No, I'm
bubble.
just saying. I don't believe in asterisks. I really don't.
So the '99 Spurs.
Unless it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
And, no,
Brandon,
but
'99 Spurs championship. What do you consider that?
no, it's a championship.
That's not an
Yeah.
asterisk. All right, Adam, we got him. We got him on tape.
Yeah,
We
Lock it down.
no.
we have a non-homer confirming.
Championship. But anyway, so with Butler, it is such a bummer that this is the way it's going to end. And the one thing, it's like I can see Jimmy's side on certain things. Like if you went the majority of the league, because this all started because Jimmy Butler was, kind of allegedly, and you could see it from the outside, not putting enough into the regular season, right? Um, he was missing time, just kind of really doing the honestly pretty common NBA veteran thing of trying to rest up and save it for when it counts, which is the postseason.
Yep.
But eh, if you look at it, if it were Rob Pelinka running that team, it'd probably be like, "Yeah, Jimmy, you're our guy. All right, you rest up, you get what you need, you'll be ready to take us to the finals." If it were Daryl Morey, it would be probably, "Yeah, Jimmy, you rest up, Jimmy Butler, your name's at the top. Do what you need to do, and we'll keep winning because we're the Heat. We've got a pretty good team, and you'll be ready to take us in for the finals." The problem is that Pat Riley is running the show.
Yeah.
And for better or worse, and I really don't know what it is. He has a great track record. He's obviously one of the most important and incredible talents in basketball coaching and front office operation and all of that. But because you're working for Pat Riley, that's not going to fly. So in some ways, I get Jimmy's side where it's like, dude, like I took this team to 2 finals. Nobody would have called that either season. Um, and I've worked really hard for this team and whatever. But I also see it from Pat Riley's side where it's like, hey, if you're the guy on the marquee, we expect you to be out there day in and day out. But I will say, in the last, whatever, 15, 20 years, I don't know how far back you want to go, things generally don't end that well for stars in Miami, like in terms of their relationship to Miami.
Yeah.
With Dwayne Wade, they saved it. They brought him back on that last little contract, and he was able to ride out into the sunset. But they traded him to the freaking Bulls before that.
Well, what happened to Chris Bosh?
Health.
Well, he had health problems.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it wasn't acrimonious. It was
No,
uninvolved.
I think not that this is entirely uncommon, but I think the LeBron thing wasn't great on the way out. And it's just a bummer because you want the legacy, and maybe in a couple years no one will even care, but you want Jimmy Butler's legacy in Miami to be beating the Bucks in that playoff series a couple years ago, and just the insane runs he would go on when it mattered most. And instead, it seems like the legacy is going to be this kind of departure. But what do you guys think about it?
Well, I think on that note, I actually wanted to say I feel like from a longtime NBA watcher that it kind of is the same story for a lot of the big three teams, Celtics, Lakers, Miami, and Miami being part of that big three is, I know, maybe not something that everyone considers, but like big market superstar, especially with the LeBron James and the like recent memory moves. Like,
Right.
I think all three of those franchises have a extensive history and like powerful ownership groups that, you know, actively are always trying to improve their team through uh, talent acquisition. And while they have had great development, don't get me wrong, especially like these last few years with Spoelstra, like he knows how to coach a team, and like they've brought in some of their own talent with Harrow and you know, some of the other Bam I think was, you know, from started in Miami as well. So like they've had good internal talent. Like
Yeah.
yeah, but their stars always come from somewhere else. I feel like it's the kind of like, you know, buy first and we'll see if we can build someone around them mentality. And I think that kind of plays into it with the fans is they're so At least from my perspective, if you're a fan of these franchises, you expect success every single year, and you expect to see your stars ball out and play. Um, so I think there's just such a fickle relationship there that, like, if for whatever reason they're not performing, uh, the fans aren't. Let's get the next season or next guy or next person up, as
Sure.
opposed to, like, ride it out with the guy who's been with us for 10 years because he hasn't really been here that long. Um,
Sure.
I think as
so
a non Heat fan and someone who doesn't follow too much basketball, but someone who loves locker room drama, I think it is so funny how messy it's been this season. Like
Oh yeah.
how just disgusting the back and forth with the Butler being suspended for a day, and now he's suspended for 2 games. Oh wait, never mind. Maybe we won't suspend him. Except now he's suspended for all the games. It's so messy.
Oh
It's
yeah.
so great. It's so messy. I don't understand why. Like, I don't understand what PR team is behind whatever's going on in Miami. They're all at the beach, Obby, I guess.
Butler's agent.
Butler's
Butler's
agency.
agent dropping a nuclear bomb on Shams.
Who's Butler's agent? Is it Rich Paul?
No.
I,
No,
Let's see.
I don't think so.
it's not Rich. Okay. By the way,
Let me find
speaking
his name.
speaking of Pat Riley, small aside, I just saw this in r/NBA. Pat Riley, the current president and former head coach of the Miami Heat, owns half a dozen trademarks related to the word three-peat. That could affect whether it appears on Super Bowl merch. So you can sit on that
Interesting.
and think about that for a little bit.
Interesting.
Bernie Lee is his name.
Bernie Lee.
Um,
Huh.
yeah. So Butler's obviously out of there. I'll be interested in. It seems like Tyler Hero's really taking a step up. So they're gonna need more help beyond that. But you've got a winning core, and that's what Miami's always so good at is
Yeah.
stars coming and go.
Oh no, Brandon's internet.
Uh-oh.
I will have to edit this.
Dang.
Brandon's here to keep me honest. I appreciate it. Let's see how
keep
long.
you
Keep
keep
me
you
on my
working.
toes, Oh, yeah, we could include this. I mean, this is content.
This is good content.
It's
All
good
right,
content.
like and subscribe if you want more
We're
of this.
padding the time. Yeah, I can't wait to see about Miami Heat / Kansas City Chiefs three-peat merch.
Oh. have a Kansas City three-peat Super Bowl shirt that has, like, LeBron James face on it.
Exactly. I mean, it's already red. Most of
They're just selling old Miami merch.
yeah, most of the leagues of both of the that the team belongs to, both of them dislike that team. So we're already there. Should I put in general add brand and be similar? You good? Think you're you cut off mid sentence. Guess we'll see. I have to make a note here. At 18 minutes, I'll make sure I cut this. Future me, 18 minutes. I should probably write it down. Where's my phone? Oh man, it's across the room. Let's look at else. What else is here on the list? I saw that Brittany Griner is leaving.
Oh.
Yeah, she's going
didn't see
to she's going from Phoenix to shoot. What did it say? Phoenix to
The Atlanta Dream.
yeah, Atlanta. I was trying to find Shams' account. Crazy. All right, back to Spurs talk. Oh, give me 1 second. So who does he replace in the starting core?
Well, it depends on what we lose for him, right? So obviously Sacramento feels like they can make some changes.
Mm-hmm.
But they are winning right now. So I feel like they're trying to get pieces that will help them win, which means that I think they're going to eye
Vassell.
like Vassell would be my the first piece that I would say if I was them, they'd be looking at.
Maybe Trey
Which,
Jones, just get a backup point guard.
yeah. The nice thing is that they have Malik Monk and DeRozan, so they just really need someone to play defense. They have ball handlers.
So Vassell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need someone to play defense, and they need someone who can spread the floor by shooting.
Hey, Sacramento, I know a great big guy, quick guy, great at three, great at D. Name is Zach Collins, handsome devil. Silver platter right there, easy. Interesting. Well, I'll be sad to see Vassell go, but I mean, I think I don't know if I've talked about it on this show, but I've definitely talked to you about that. I think he's an injury magnet. And I
Yeah,
think
he's having a hard time staying healthy for sure.
his injuries are not easy injuries. Like, he's out for long periods, and that just ruins any momentum he has with the team,
Yeah.
which is it's rough. Did you see Stephen Castle made the rookies of the Rising Stars team?
He's also doing the dunk contest.
He is. I'm excited for that. Wemby, of course, is on the sophomore team for the Rising Stars.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
Also,
I
my
think...
favorite, Grady Dick on the sophomore team, my boy, GD.
Yeah, I am surprised by that.
What
He's not performing poorly, but
dude, he was putting in points in my league earlier this season, bro. I don't know. He was
yeah,
putting in solid stats. Solid
yeah,
stats, dude. Oh my god. So where does Jimmy end up? Where does he go? Who can it's someone has to buy his contract, right?
yeah. Okay. So the weird thing about him is that like Miami, like I was gonna say this earlier, Butler and Pat Riley are both stubborn as hell. So they're just gonna play chicken until something happens. Um, and so right now it's looking like teams are just like throwing anything at the wall to see what they can get for him. But also like Butler isn't young. He's kind of older. He's also has a weird effect on locker room morale. I don't know if you remember his time in
Okay, see, right?
no, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay.
Yeah, he had some time in Minnesota where he basically called Cat a little bitch and then left shortly after. So yeah,
He's a strong personality.
he's a strong personality, but he's also like, don't get me wrong, he's really performing and has played a good role with Miami. And Brandon even said like he's not there to win you games during the regular season. He's there to like clutch it up in the postseason. So you need to build a team around him that can do that. And I don't know. It's just such a weird dynamic that like Miami seemed like the best fit for him to continue doing that. But maybe
But I
some
guess
team
not.
one of the things that like one of the teams that people kind of are saying Jimmy wants to happen first off, like that's his preferred destination is Phoenix.
Okay.
They have a roster of superstars already. They can get to the playoffs. I mean, at this point they're kind of on the cusp of it, but they shouldn't need much more help to get to the playoffs. The only problem is, and this is where I was mentioning earlier, Bradley Beal has a no trade clause, and he's the only one with a contract that would be worth trading. Um, so
So really there's no place for Jimmy B to go.
there's places
That
it's
he would
just
want to
not.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. There's no place for him. For his desires.
yeah. So that's where you're seeing like this is one of the weird scenarios where a no trade clause on a player who's not even like he's on the trading chopping block, but not for a good reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, like he's blocking the Jimmy Butler trade. Bradley Beal is by not wanting to be traded. So
I mean, if it's a contract, man, it's not him. I mean, it is,
yeah.
but it's not, you know.
Well, no, but that's like why you go for those. Like that's what I
Mhm.
was saying earlier. Is like some players are willing to take lower contracts, and that's why I think Bradley Beal got paid a little less to go to Phoenix because they already had superstars on that team. So he took a little bit of a pay cut, hoping
Hey,
that they might win.
paying off, buddy. Well, I mean, they're
Yeah,
not winning. I mean, they didn't win last year, and they haven't made it far enough, I think, to constitute maybe some of that. But hey, maybe this year.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the year. Well, I'm not sure what happened to Brandon. Either his internet dropped off or his computer died. He looked at my message on Insta. So let's see what
Maybe
he
he's
says.
scrambling to get fixed.
Yeah, trades are mostly my computer is poop working on it. I see. Okay. What was I gonna say? The trades are messy this year. The trade deadline.
Yeah.
I feel like it hasn't been this like contentious in a while.
Yeah, a lot of superstars, I think, is the main difference. And I was gonna bring that up as a topic of like this season in general. It feels like it's still anybody's game.
Yeah, man.
Like especially in the West. You have teams like us and Golden State who have shown that they can win games when they want to.
But not convincingly
Sacramento,
enough.
yeah, Sacramento and Dallas are 9 and 10 in the rankings right now.
Dude,
So
Dallas lost Maxi Kleber. That sucks for them.
yeah, he was a solid piece, but I think they'll be all right.
He's the part of a team that every team needs that Spurs lack. Like, it's just a solid role player who does his job game in, game out every season.
Yeah. But yeah, OKC's looking strong. Cleveland had their crazy streak.
Mm-hmm.
Boston's still playing great. I mean, it's all the teams that we
Kawhi
thought
might come back.
It might be too late. It might be too late.
I'd argue it's been too late for years.
That being said, the Clippers are number 6 right now, so
Is Katie pulling
we'll
that
see.
corpse of a team like across the finish line?
Actually, they only have Harden right now. Like that's their
Wait, Katie's still out?
Kevin Durant.
Is he not on that team? Am I dumb?
No, he plays for the Suns.
Oh, shoot. I am dumb. Never mind. Harden's carrying that husk of a team? Excuse me?
Yeah,
What year is it?
Actually, it's Norman Powell, which is even crazier to me because Norman Powell's like 32 or something like that.
So 86. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then in the East, Knicks, right?
It's pretty much Boston, Cleveland, and New York right now. Actually, there were talks, and I don't know how this is the rumor mill, but there were talks that Giannis is potentially on the
Trading block?
not necessarily on the block, but
He's an all-star.
yeah.
He's
But
an
also,
he's an MVP.
what if he goes somewhere else?
What's his contract like? I'm sure it's ginormous. I'm sure it's gigantic.
He's definitely maxed for sure.
Who can afford that contract? Is it Detroit? Can Detroit afford that contract?
A lot of teams could afford the contract. Whether they'd want to give up the stuff to get him is the question. Also, like I said, it's only a small rumor that I had barely heard, so I don't know that there's actually going to be any.
Oh man, this reeks of a disgusting Spurs takes a somewhat injured, somewhat older, used to be all-star player on his waning years in the NBA. It reeks of it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we'd ever take a swing on
a Giannis. Antetokounmpo. We'd give up all of our picks.
Yeah.
Trade all of our players away. Well,
we'll see though.
I mean, he devoted himself to Milwaukee, man. That's sad.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is like I think it's more like both. If there is any kind of interest, it's more about like Giannis said that he'd be, fine getting traded, and or the front office was asking around to see what they could get for Giannis, not necessarily wanting to pull the trigger. That's kind of how these from the rumors that I've seen in the past.
Fact finding, getting a
yeah. It's just like, what does Giannis get for us these days, kind of deal.
Nice to know. Let's see. Miami Heat, Houston Rockets, Orlando Magic, and the LA Clippers are all teams that were known to have some interest in the possible pursuit of Fox in the past. So, that means nothing now, but it's just something to think about. The Rockets, huh? The Rockets getting Fox. I feel like that young team with super fast point guard, that'd probably be dangerous.
Yeah, no, they've got some athletic wings as well that could play around him. That's kind of what I was saying is the Spurs don't fit the
play style, the profile.
play style as much, but they have a young, fast team, where ours is more of a set piece offense. So
hey, man, we have like first picks for days, right? If he might look at the future. He's got Wemby already, the number 1 pick. We have potentially the Hawks' oddly growing in value pick.
yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he looks down the long term. How old is he?
Fox,
Yeah.
want to say like 27, 28, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly,
27.
now thinking about it fully, that he's 27, like the Spurs also, I guess, doesn't make super a lot of sense. Apparently, he's from Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's one of the reasons he wants to come back here.
There's a rumor on the Spurs subreddit that a French reporter who was known for correctly, I guess not guessing, but like understanding Wembanyama's desire to come to San Antonio, has said that he has heard that Fox's family has already set up the move to San Antonio. They're like in the process of establishing his place in San Antonio.
Interesting.
Do you think this trade is a sign of goodwill from Fox to be able to give his team assets, where if he had just waited another 6 months, he wouldn't have to be, he could go where he wanted and they wouldn't get anything?
I guess. I mean, I think it's all part of the game, right? Where he knows he's not going to be. The thing about contracts with professional sports players is you always want to go off of if you're healthy and playing well now, try to get the biggest contract you can.
I see.
So knowing that he's in a situation where he could be traded, it could be slightly, and I'm going to say selfish, but not like in a self-serving way, but like I know that I can get the most money out of myself right now.
The rumor here is that he had been asking for help and moves to improve the Sacramento roster for some time, and the front office promised and failed to make a trade to get him some help. And they had actually promised yesterday that they had a Collins or a Johnson deal on the table, but they fell through. So he just gave up.
Yeah.
So
and that's part of it too. Is like if you lose faith in your front office, you don't really want to stick around.
Yeah, I did see something here that is what's the word? I just saw a funny quote. He realizes he'll end up being the John Wall of the West if he doesn't move.
Yeah, I saw a comparison to Kemba Walker in Charlotte.
Oh. Didn't he end up in Boston?
Yeah. I think so. I want to say yes, but yeah, he was mostly known for his years in Charlotte because that's where he was like popping off and playing really well, but he got put on a better team and didn't perform as much. So but he's still a good player. Don't get me wrong.
I am back.
All right.
Hell yeah.
You missed an adventure to hell and back.
You missed a rousing discussion on more De'Aaron Fox to San Antonio. So
okay. What did I miss?
Nothing. Us describing why he wants to leave and him buying a house in San Antonio.
Did he buy a house in San Antonio?
There's a rumor from a reporter that his family is making the preparations to move to San Antonio. And we were kind of discussing why he wanted to leave, whereas Adam, I mean, nothing's confirmed. Adam's theories on like he wants to have the most value for his contract. Other rumors being that he doesn't have any faith in the front office. So that's where we're at.
I think if you have to ask 15 times to get more
help,
there
was a comment that's a very John comment that said, and he thought that John Collins was the answer.
Well, that's the thing is I don't know if that's referencing De'Aaron Fox there, But if you're saying, hey, can you get me more help? I need like a good player to play next to me, and someone comes up to you and says, oh yeah, we're reaching out to John Collins. That might not be the most reassuring thing to
And
hear.
then they fail to get John
And then
Collins.
they couldn't even get him. Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So
so I have a little game I want to play
All
with the
right.
Spurs fans here.
All right.
Okay.
Who's that, dude? I don't know any Spurs fans.
This game is called "Do You Want Him?"
Okay.
And whatever player this is,
Mm-hmm.
I need a yes or a no from both of you, and then a little explanation as to why.
Okay.
okay,
These are proposed. I'm not getting too into like what assets for what assets would. Besides, you guys are sitting on 10,000 picks, so
that's what I
like
was gonna say. We could probably just make this trade with first rounders, like
you can
if we
make
wanted to.
anything work. Exactly. So that's a perfect one to start with, though. De'Aaron Fox, yes or no?
Yes.
After hearing y'all, I'm gonna say no. I don't have much of an explanation
Oh,
besides that it doesn't seem like a fit, and he might just leave anyways in the year.
right, indeed. Okay, this is one that I'm really excited about, and I think I know that what you're gonna guess on this or what you're gonna answer on this. But Zion Williamson.
No,
Yes.
I don't respect
Yes.
his
Explain.
ethic. I don't respect his
We
ethic at all.
we have not determined what we'd be getting him for. If there was a chance to get Zion Williamson on our team for pennies on the dollar, of course.
Oh
He's
yeah,
a
can we get him for peanuts?
yeah, like this he is a
Probably not peanuts, but you might be able to get like a better deal than what you would if you were playing at like peak powers for sure.
exactly. Imagine, and this is where like the De'Aaron Fox what I was saying earlier about De'Aaron Fox being like faster pace player. Zion is explosive, but I would not call him a runner in terms of
Sure.
going up and down the floor. So if you're going to have someone in a half court offense with Wemby and you have the
Oh yeah.
explosive power of Zion next to him, I think that's a showstopper. That sounds crazy.
And
On
then
that
he
note,
blows out his freaking knees in the first game of the season, and then you're left with the remains of no picks.
hey, maybe you can like average out the body mass of Wemby and Zion. You
I
know,
don't
That's the other
want
thing
I
too.
don't want Zion to
During the
fall on
regular
Wemby.
during the regular season, you only need like one of them on the floor, basically.
All right.
exactly.
Assuming you get like a couple, marginally better pieces around them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just imagine like whatever you're the Bulls or whatever, and you're looking at your schedule and you're like, oh my God, we've got to go play Victor Wembanyama and Zion Williamson in the same front court. Like
Who
that is going to be that game is going to be so circled as the biggest pain in the ass game during the regular season, and then in the postseason, you just kill people with your size. I mean, look what the Cavs are doing with like Allen and Mobley this
Yeah,
year. I mean,
exactly.
when you have two really good, competent bigs, and now I mean like Wembanyama and Williamson are almost like the a literal on steroids version of that. Not literal, but
Yeah.
figurative literal.
I just
Um,
can't put faith in Zion's knees. That's just where I'll put my
well,
stance.
if you look at people like our friend James Harden, sometimes your health magically gets a lot better when you're playing in a place you want to play.
Yeah.
But we have
I don't
churros,
think I'd be
man.
shocked if that happened with Zion.
We have churros.
You do have churros.
We have
That's true.
churros. All I've heard
God.
about my town for 30 years is Chuck telling me we have churros.
Yeah. Well, Chuck's telling you have more than churros. That's for sure.
That's true.
Well,
But
We have
I will
masks.
say, on top of that, one of the things about San Antonio is the coaching culture.
yes, exactly. I'll put him with Pop. It'll be
Exactly.
awesome.
Exactly. If you
Bring
and this
Duncan
is,
back. Have Duncan in his life. Like,
dude, Zion
Yeah.
getting mentored by Tim Duncan would be if Tim Duncan could teach
Yeah.
him any kind of like
Maneuvers, yeah.
holy moly,
That's what I'm
unstoppable.
saying.
Do you all see any of Tim Duncan in Wemby's play? Like, do y'all see a noticeable like amount of like, I guess the one-on-one coaching, or like specific types of shots or
I
techniques?
don't see a lot of anyone else in Wemby's play. He just looks like a creative player to me. Like
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I don't. I barely. It's not an insult to like anyone. I just don't like.
Sometimes
I
it
haven't
seems
seen anyone like
he just
Wemby
makes
ever.
every move up on the fly, and it works because he's 9 foot tall.
I
For
will
sure.
say the one thing I've seen is Wemby has this little hezzy spin move. I'll try to find a clip of it and share it with you guys. But Tim used to do that all the time of just a
Nice.
quick flip, get the guy on your back, dunk the ball.
Yeah, Wemby's getting a little bag. He's developing a little bag. So when he's got a full bag with that size, like just unstoppable, completely unstoppable. He's already unstoppable, but then it's just like
But now
whatever
he's
the level is
double
above that,
unstoppable.
double unstoppable. I love the idea of Zion and Wemby on the same team just because watching that team, ludicrous. No team would ever get a rebound, like ever. And well, you'd have to actually like convince Zion to go for rebounds, which is a
Yeah.
whole other thing.
You have to
Because like
convince you have to
that dude was
convince
like in the
him to
single
leave the
digits with
floor.
rebounds last year, I think. And come on, man.
All right,
But
Brandon, what's your next player?
my next player. Oh, I like this one a lot. So you've got Victor Wembanyama, who very well could be the face of the league in 2 or 3 years, if he isn't already.
Hmm.
Uh, he's on this thing we like to call the rookie contract,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
where they're getting him at a very, very affordable number for the next 2 or 3 years, I think,
3
or he's able to get that,
mega
able to
bag.
get his first big contract. You know, a player that is on kind of a dwindling team and has 2 or 3 years left on a really big contract. His name is Steph
Mm.
Curry.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
What if San Antonio decides, you know what? Nothing's guaranteed. We have this guy who's 9 feet tall and looks like Gumby. Who knows what his like health is going to be like in the next decade? We want to win right now, and we go and get a guy who is the best shooter of all time with a winning pedigree, Steph Curry, and then Steph's contract is done when you've got to pay Wemby. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Steph Curry until probably very recently has been my favorite NBA player.
Nice.
Like I've loved Steph more than any other
I
NBA player for
detest
the
him
last.
just because he's like beaten teams I love, but I like love him as like he is a great
Dude,
basketball
his
player, and I love
personality
him for
too.
that.
He's got such a good personality, dude, and he's such a
Oh
good
yeah, he's
and he's such a
awesome.
good guy too. I
He's a good
just
leader,
yeah, like he
good
does charity
leadership.
work. He goes to South Korea with his brother like constantly and does like basketball camps out there.
For sure.
It's crazy.
Good dude.
But he's also a god midair from
Yeah. Now I don't know if
20
Golden
feet
State
away.
would ever, even if it were to their own detriment, I don't know if they would ever trade him.
Dude, what if it's
But
Pop saying, Kerr, man, like we go back. I just had a stroke. Throw me a bone. Throw me a bone. And then
I don't think
Spurs get Draymond Green.
Kerr's not the one deciding.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's not Bob
I'm
Myers anymore. I don't even know who runs that team now. But anyway, what do you think, Adam? Adam's
I'm
pondering.
it's tempting because it's the same, like in all regards, it's the same experiment as CP3. Uh where you're not I don't know if they to have enough to win. I do think at this point Steph is a better player in his career. Got a little bit more left in the tank. So I like it's gonna be hard for me to say no to most of these players, unless you
Yeah.
say John Collins, um, but like
John and Zach dominating the boards.
the Collins crew. But no, I think generally like yes. It's the same story as Chris Paul. Like I think he'd make Wemby better as he's growing. The only thing is, I think he wants to stay in Golden State, and if there
Yeah.
were any reason to bring him to San Antonio, it would cost us way too much. That's the main reason I'd say no.
Okay.
Unless Steph was like, I want 1 year playing with Pop, kind of situation. But even then, that's like,
I want fantasy dreamland where Steph Curry comes here for no money and then wins us a ring.
That'd be pretty cool if he just said, you know what? I don't want to take $1 from you, but I want to play from you.
I want to give y'all
Uh,
money.
It'd be great. I would like that. What? And you guys up for Jimmy Butler? What do you think?
Isn't he old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you took on Chris Paul. Old isn't too big an issue for you guys, I don't
We also
think.
took on LaMarcus
No.
Aldridge and Pau
He's a lot
Gasol.
cheaper, though.
I got to watch the Spurs start Bryn Forbes with a backup Pau Gasol and a LaMarcus Aldridge and a DeMar DeRozan. I think I'm okay.
I believe Jimmy Butler also has an opt-in for $51 million next year. So
I'm gonna say no.
or an option. I said opt-in.
I mean,
Option.
in both, yeah.
$51 million next year.
I found the clip,
Oh.
and it's unfortunately on LeBron.
Ooh.
Oh, what's on LeBron?
Wemby got Braun.
Oh,
All right, let me see.
that's okay.
Okay, so that's a Tim move.
Yeah, it's I'll try to find the Tim clip too, but here's a it's not the exact same, but he used to pull that similar spin move all the time. His is a little bit more right into it on this clip that I'm sending over right now, but
The bank was
Tim Duncan's signature move
That is a
was
nice move.
unguardable. Okay.
it's just the feed into the paint, immediately spin and go up with it. Like some people just
Yes.
aren't going to be able to stop that.
I mean, it was LeBron playing defense, so he probably just could have shot where he was, but it's fine. It's a nice move.
Is LeBron the next question?
Or LeBron just kind of. Oh, no, I don't think. The Lakers I think they will be housing LeBron's retirement years.
Mhm.
Oh, good for them.
I mean, would you guys want LeBron? I guess we might as well ask. If they decided to blow it up, would you want him?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Really?
I mean,
You want that contract?
I would assume I
I-
assume he, out of the sake of respect for Pop, he takes some type of veteran type deal. You can't do that to us, man.
I think he's got like 2 years left on his current deal. I think.
To charity it goes. Who knows?
If nothing else, it would be hilarious to see LeBron in a Spurs jersey.
It would be fun.
Yeah, it was actually really weird seeing Chris Paul in a Spurs jersey. So I can't imagine
Yeah.
how weird it would be to see LeBron in one.
Okay, here's a good one.
Mhm.
So this is similar to the Zion move. Anthony Davis.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah,
I
I like it.
I might have found a no.
Oh,
I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't see it working.
Were you a yes on LeBron?
Yes, I was a yes
Oh.
on LeBron because I think it'd
The
be funny
novelty?
to see him in a Spurs jersey.
just the
Yeah.
just the
Okay,
novelty.
well,
Okay.
fair reasoning.
Look,
Okay.
this is also one of the reasons I voted yes for De'Aaron Fox was the Spurs don't make moves for players.
Sure.
So, like, to have a midseason trade for the Spurs, that's like once every 20 years. Like,
Right.
I'd be super excited.
Adam's so into novelty. It's amazing.
Love
If
it.
nothing
Yeah.
else, in that we try him out for the rest of the season, and this is back to De'Aaron Fox. We try him out for the rest of the season, and if he doesn't work, he walks in 2026.
Yep, that is probably what's gonna happen. Yes.
But going back to the Anthony Davis thing, I just don't think the spacing works with them. I think they have too similar a game.
But Adam,
Once
what
it-
if we
like-
did it just so that we don't have to play against him anymore?
That would be nice. He does kind of shit on Wemby, so.
I don't know if that's true. I think he shits on the Spurs because there aren't two Wembys on the Spurs.
Well, but the thing is, Wemby is arguably defensive player of the year. Like in those conversations,
Yeah.
he can't guard Anthony Davis.
Mm.
I don't think that he has the mass to guard Anthony Davis, which is why we need a backup big to do that. So I'm not criticizing Wemby's defense. I just don't. He's not. He
bad
can guard
matchup. He's a bad matchup.
95% of the people in the league, maybe closer to even 99% of the people in the league. But Anthony Davis is not one of those people he can guard to his normal standard. Don't get me wrong, he's probably still better than a lot of other defenders, but there's a reason we put like Zach Collins or Chuck Bassey on him.
Sure. Okay, last one. Zach LaVine.
No opinion.
Playing really well this year.
He's in my mind like the main reason I'd want him is the fun. He looks like he's having fun playing basketball most of the time.
Sure.
Like he's an exciting player to watch, but like god damn, man, I just don't know if it's like because he's been with the Bulls for so long and they suck, but like I just associate him with losing.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say I don't really think of winning when I hear Zach LaVine.
yeah, I don't know. It probably isn't anything on him, honestly. He plays well, he scores points,
Nah,
but
bro,
like,
it's at least 20% on him as part of the starting line.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I
All
think
right. Well,
there are better because he would probably be our starter, and I think there are better players for that position.
why Leonard?
No,
I don't know if I can yell into this mic without blowing out the audio, so I'll just quietly say no.
Bring him back. His great redemption.
honestly, it would be so hilarious if like him and Pop do a retirement tour together.
And they're both on hospital beds the entire time, like a tour through the ICU. Like what? I don't understand what that
You
means.
know, most people have like that one season that they play it out. Theirs is going to be like a 1 week like goodbye basketball. It was nice. Thank you for all you did.
Yeah, they ride on the bench the whole time.
Yeah.
Both of them sitting on the bench.
Kawhi's gonna be like 28-10 for 3 straight games, and then sit out the next 2.
Next 2, more like next 12. But
uh,
we love Kawhi in this podcast. You guys don't know it at home, but we love Kawhi.
You guys wouldn't know from
there's-
hearing anything from us.
There's no
But,
evidence. There's no evidence because we haven't posted any evidence. But there we go. We love Kawhi.
yeah.
I like the game. I don't know much, but I have vibe, and from the vibes, I would say no to half of those, I guess.
All right, I've got a little transition here for you guys.
Okay.
Tyler, if you want to go ahead and smash that Homer button.
All right.
Or Homer alarm.
Wait.
It's coming.
Here we go. Homer.
There we go. Homer. Yep. This Cleveland Cavaliers team is the most fun team I've ever watched in a regular season.
They had a crazy start. They had a crazy start.
They have that like, and it's even better because it doesn't feel like a social media stab. But they have that like Brooklyn Nets. What was it like? 2018, 2019 Brooklyn Nets, Jared Dudley shenanigans bullshit going on, and I love it. It's fun to watch.
Well, I think even more so than that group was so. Which ironically, Kenny Atkinson, right, same coach. I think this team, at least at this juncture, has a lot more talent. Though they remind
100%.
me, and I want to like kick myself whenever I want to say this, but they remind me of like the 2015 Golden State Warriors. I mean, it's just like this team with this like ridiculous and seemingly unlimited amount of depth. Like the ball is just flying around everywhere. These last couple games, and they've cooled off a little bit in January, which is like kind of the. Can we just say January is like the least like kind of the biggest lull of the season?
Yeah,
it's right before trade deadline, right before
did.
All-Star game. Everyone's just kind of
right before All-Star, right after kind of Christmas and
all the Christmas games were like the big ones where the stars show up, and then everyone gets injured for the month of January before the All-Star break. Yeah,
for sure. It's like this team. So you've got obviously Mitchell and Garland. You've got Mobley and Allen. You've got this 2-guard, 2-big combo that's incredible. But beyond that, the bench. I mean, Ty Jerome, Max Strus, Dean Wade, Isaac Okoro. It's unending almost. These guys who are pretty good just get swapped in. The ball is flying around faster than you can keep up with it, and it finally hits an open guy and they're taking a 3. And then you've got Allen and Mobley working this game in the post, and just Mobley's gone up such a huge level this year. And they're just so much fun to watch. Who knows what the postseason will bring? That's always a different thing. It's also cool to just see like Tristan Thompson on the bench. Just this like,
is he still in the league? What? He's still playing?
But
man, he's still good for 8 rebounds in like 10 minutes. So
Yeah, he can come in there when you need him to. But the coolest thing is he's the like kind of the first guy cheering everybody on the bench,
Yeah.
and just he's this guy from this whole other era a decade ago, you know.
Yep.
So it's like cool to still have to have him around these days. But it's just a really fun team to watch. They clearly like each other a lot. And I'll just be interested in how it translates to the postseason. But knowing Atkinson's track record with teams like Golden State, I think they're going to be ready for it.
Where do they finish, Brandon?
Where
Regular
do they
season.
finish?
Yeah, where do they finish regular season?
Where do they finish in the regular? Oh, like what's their record?
Yeah, your prediction.
Oh,
It's your midseason prediction, buddy.
okay. Give me just a second. Let me.
Well, Brandon looks that up while we're still in Homer Corner. Sorry, let me. From Hollinger, if you're looking for ways for De'Aaron Fox to end up in SA, keep an eye on Detroit. The Pistons are set up both roster-wise and cap-wise to take on a likely key element in any Fox deal, the $18 million contract of Harrison Barnes. So
interesting.
The Harrison Barnes contract.
I wasn't really thinking we would give up Barnes in this trade, but I mean, it kind of makes sense.
It's because Sacramento traded Barnes to us. He cannot be reacquired directly. The restriction goes away if Barnes goes to a third team, like the Pistons. Detroit's the only team with practical cap space, and it's an $18 million contract.
Well, but that, like, in that scenario, we're looking to practically retrade Barnes to Sacramento?
Yeah.
Because that seems weird. Like, they're not going to want that.
By not taking back Barnes, plus taking Trey Jones' $9.9 million salary, and taking one or two other players into their three other trade exceptions, the Kings would generate $34.8 million trade exception for Fox.
Yeah, they'd be fine.
So that's the alternative, I guess.
Yeah, they'd be fine. It would have to be a 3-player trade from us.
Also, Barnes is great.
Tyler, to answer your question, I think the Cavs could win somewhere between like 64 and 68.
Wow, I'm jealous. I haven't heard of those numbers in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you, buddy. I'm real happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think.
I say through gritted teeth.
Well, it's hey, it isn't anything until you get to see how you do in the postseason.
First,
they had
in
a pretty
the
gutsy
East,
win.
37-9.
They had a gutsy win over Orlando with a lot of guys hurt on both sides last year. And then obviously fell to the Celtics, who were just dominating everyone. But yeah, it's just exciting. It's a cool thing this year. And,
I mean, y'all play the Celtics this week.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, this Saturday, I think. Game to watch, buddy. Game to watch.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I'm ready. It's weird. We're at this time in the season where it's like once the All-Star break comes around, the playoffs get that much like closer to your vision, and the games are so much more fun to watch. But
I mean, there's no way y'all bomb out at this point, right? Like
no. I don't think it's anything like that. It's almost you're ready for the postseason to start now.
But we still have another 40 games to go.
A long way to go.
And the All-Star games.
Oh, the brilliant All-Star game. Can't wait for that.
Man, I can't wait to learn again the new rules, only for me to not have to learn those rules, because next year will be different.
Well, they didn't put Wemby on the All-Star team, so I'm boycotting.
He's in the Rising Stars game. That's something. Sort of.
Yeah, he should have been All-Star.
Grady Dick is in the Rising Star game.
My boy, dude. GD, we talked about it. He's stat line crazy. What he's putting up for his team is numbers.
He is putting up numbers.
He's putting up numbers.
They are
some numbers better than zero numbers. Think about it.
Should we give? I think it was Toronto's announcer when Grady Dick went in for a layup when he said Dick takes it to the hole. Did that guy get a Nobel Prize for that?
Yeah,
I think he
honestly,
needs some type of Golden Globe, like some
the
daytime
Pulitzer,
a daytime Emmy or something. Oh yeah, a Pulitzer for
spoken
spoken prose.
Yeah. For journalistic whatever.
Hey, AD gets injured right before All-Star game. Wemby's a sub, right?
I don't know. They didn't put him in the first time.
If he's in the Rising Stars game, he's probably not in the
Regular
regular
All-Star.
All-Star
You can't be
game,
both?
right? Unless I have that wrong.
You can't do both?
I don't know.
That's good though. Put him in the Rising Stars game because you're honestly he's going to be in the All-Star game next year or the year after.
I hate this
And
argument.
he'll-
Like, what is this argument? It's like, yeah, he might have been best defensive player of the year, but he's going to be defensive player of the year next
This
year. So let's give it
argument
to
is that
Rudy.
you're-
Let's give Rudy Gobert the defensive player of the year.
Rudy
award.
Gobert is not in the All-Star game, is he?
No, but last year with the DPOY.
Don't scare me like that.
No.
The argument is that you still have old heads like LeBron and KD and Steph, and they're going to take their last year or two in the sun, and then they're going to be, they're going to be retired, and it's going to be Wemby's league.
I feel like I'd feel more sentimental if it hasn't been their last year in the sun for like the last decade. I feel like I've been hearing about LeBron getting
the last
old.
days in the sun. It's happening over a 3 or 4 year period.
Yeah.
It's some kind of Incan freaking like Peruvian age-old sun phase going on right now. 10 years of power.
This would be a good topic to jump on, though, because this is something a lot of people are talking about right now. Like, is it time for the league to change the stars it's prioritizing? Because you're still seeing on all the posters, it's Steph Curry, it's LeBron James, it's Kevin Durant, James Harden. Like,
I'm going to say
is it time
yes
for that to be Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards and Wemby? Should we be transitioning this now?
Well, I think the kickoff commercial was a good representation besides Kawhi for like current day faces.
Kawhi is a living. He's the most relevant face in the league. What are you talking about, Tyler?
I mean, yep, that's true. But yeah, we had Anthony Edwards, you had Wemby there, you had he who must not be named, and you had I think a good representation of young there. I like that. Current commercials I see, it's a lot of like younger guys. I think the league's already doing it, and I'm happy about it because
I will say
it's easier to take like when you take it slowly like this.
In terms of like comparing this to like other leagues I've seen too, like the NFL for example, I think part of the conversation becomes media coverage of professional sports in general, and like you have so many players into broadcasters, into celebrities, into whatever you want to call them, that like for example Shaq and Chuck, right, two of the biggest names in NBA broadcasting, right, but like that wasn't a thing when they were playing. Like they were kind of the first generation to do that. And now you see every, old head jumping out of the league becoming that new thing while Shaq and Chuck are still, pulling each other's ears on the set of on the set of their show. So
some old heads are doing it while they're in the league.
Exactly.
Draymond.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think it's just more because there's such a desire, we're such a like broadcast first audience at this point. You're gonna see these advertisements, these faces for longer. That's just the natural part of everyone is on a screen more. So that I think that's kind of the big part of it. That's what like Anthony Edwards, in my opinion, has been all over the place in terms of like
he's in ads for all everything possible.
Like, do you think your casual NBA fans know who Anthony Edwards is at this point?
100%.
Yeah, I think he's got the most successful sneaker coming from an NBA athlete in the last like 5 years. Like he's enough. He's appearing on enough of media outside of pure NBA stuff. I think I don't think he's made the step into like showing up in TV shows and movies yet.
But... I'll correct you.
He's in a movie.
He's in a movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
He's also in like he's like the face of Sprite right now, I want to say.
Right. Well, ads, yeah, but I was talking more like LeBron and Trainwreck, or like that's or Michael Jordan in Space Jam. Oh, I love Michael. I love LeBron and Trainwreck, dude. He's so funny.
A great performance.
He's so.
Did you know that Cleveland is a great and safe place to raise a family? Yeah, you've said that like 3 times now. It's weird.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting how how people are transitioning into these like media roles. Steph Curry had that like golf show for a long time.
But Steph Curry and
Right.
golf's been like a thing forever, like years and years and
Steph
years.
Curry's just gonna be a professional golfer when he retires.
Yeah.
You're gonna see him on like the PGA.
Did you see his hole-in-one? Crazy.
Oh,
That was wild. Like any hole-in-one, but it's a basketball player doing it, so it's cooler.
that is cool.
Well,
Well, guys,
yeah, I
that
think
was a pretty perfect episode. Should we wrap it there?
yeah, nothing
Yeah.
happened of craziness. Nothing that Tyler has to go back and
No, I
edit at
didn't.
18 minutes. Tyler, future Tyler, 18 minutes. Remember to look at that time period. But thanks.
If you want, or you can just get I'm sure you guys did some great bantering.
I'll keep a lot of it, but there was a solid like 2 minutes of me and Adam who were just really quiet.
Where you go?
Anyways, thanks so much for listening to the second episode of Gimme Gimme the Ball, taking place a solid 4 months after the first episode of Gimme Gimme the Ball. We have been your hosts, Adam,
Hello.
Brandon, and Tyler, and we will catch y'all the next time. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen.
Adios.
Fine. See you later.